We're now recording. I have a wide variety of watchers. People that want to make bows or what have you. I have a group of people that watch my videos. It really amazes me that are bow makers that I respect to a great degree. Um, One is Dreamcraft Bows, just to name one person. Hello! Thank you for having enough confidence in me to spend some time talking about bows. Check it out, Dreamcraft Bows. I should make a complete list. Red Dragon, hello there. You work way hard. You work a lot harder than I do, my friend. Thank you for watching. So, as well as entertaining you with my banter, my cheerful banter, I'm gonna give you a tip, literally, that you may or may not be aware of. Even, how do I get started in doing this? Well, I've done this a lot. I'm mixing metaphors. It's actually a West Coast, like a hoopah, Yurok type of a thing. But I've done them on Osage, pardon me, gullwing bows, sinew backed with rattlesnake accents and all sorts of tricky things. I've used this technique on those, and it's really stellar. You could use it on a variety of bows. I gave my little the theory of this talk away. Bow tips. In front of us is a bow that I'm working on that's trussed up like a Christmas Day turkey. And the reason it is trussed up like a Christmas Day turkey is some tip details. Gosh, I can't even talk. Tip details are drying. Hide glue. I use hide glue for this. Okay, so here we are. And I was looking all over the place for my example. This right here is the example, and you can see there's a gentle recurve, and then there's a definite bend in the tip right there. I, as well as other people, might call this a bent tab tip. In this case, I don't want to take it off. Maybe I can do that. You can see that it doesn't have string grooves. I had taken the bow tip and then thinned it to the point where it's as thin as the tip. And then I used a built-up wrap of sinew to act as the string stop, the string groove kind of a thing. And that's it. You may wonder, how do I do that? How do I take this and then have a definite West Coast style bent tab? Well, it's simple. Let me move the bow. It's kind of like 2001 Space Odyssey. Like that, you can see it in action. What I did is I actually almost cut through the tip with a miter saw. This is why it's important to practice on just a tip, maybe not attached to a bow that's almost done, because you could saw through it accidentally. If you do, and I've done this from time to time, but it doesn't matter because you're going to be reinforcing it with sinew. This joint, this V-notch, is not the sole bearer of all the stresses on here. And you can also picture that the bowstring, the pressure from the bowstring, is against whatever sort of string groove you have. It's not on the tip. So this is not being flexed that much. So it's not a matter of huge strength. Even on an 80-pound bow, you could cut all the way through and then just glue it on. And then after the sinew reinforcement is on, you're good. I, however, did not cut all the way through. I used a miter saw, cut it through, and then to make that V-groove. Now, some people may want to actually make a V-groove, file it in, use the knife at 2 angles, angle, and then it's a V-groove, and then you steam it over it. I used a tea kettle just to make it flexible enough. It cracked a little bit, but it's still intact. I did not use a saw to make the V-groove. What I do is simply, I have to set that on the ground, but it's a clean piece of ground there. I had cut almost all the way through it. I steamed it and then pressured it until it loosened it up. There's maybe a 1/16 of an inch of wood on this backside holding it, enough that I can bend it when I steam it. Once it's steamed enough, I pressure it, because that miter saw is a wide enough curve so it actually can flex before I put a V-groove in it. You know, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, you sawed it through. The kerf is big enough so you can get it limber enough for the next step. I don't file, nor do I saw a V-groove into it. I cut strips of 80 grit sandpaper, flex it, and then pull those strips through there until I've got my heart's desire on bend. Even it up. That one's as even as this one. You don't need to give it a final steam because generally by the flexing you've loosened up that little tab of bow material on the back. Then I dip it all in hide glue. I'm not going to mix Titebond with hide glue. Weird things happen. So if you're going to use hide glue, use hide glue. If you're going to use Titebond, use Titebond. And then I've trussed it up this way to add pressure until it dries and it will stay in its position. Now how do I furball? How do I sinew these tips when in fact I'm going to use rawhide? Well, it's as simple as I sinew the tips and then I sand it down here and put rawhide over it. Easy peasy. But what you do, and what I'm going to do, I also have a gentle recurve in this because it gives me the sense of a recurve, gives the bow a particular look when it's braced and shooting, but not so much it's going to overstrain the limbs. I'm going to sinew it starting a little beyond that recurve because I don't want that recurve to pull out any chance of it. It should be fine, and then rawhide back, it should be fine, but this is going to be sold to somebody, so I want to make 100% sure I'm not going to have an uneven looking bow. The recurve pulled out of here over time and it didn't pull over out of there. It can happen. So I'm going to sinew it. I'm going to go all the way over. And because it's a recurve, inside corner, I'm going to wrap that really tight while it dries. That will make the stuff strong. Not only laterally, this way, but also this way. It will be extremely strong. And then I can work the shape of the tip afterwards. I might leave a big shoulder here in wood. I might thin it right here so it's the same width as the tips and then build it up with sinew. I don't know. Like that. I think I'm just going to leave it shouldered, maybe. I am fickle. I might change my mind. I might do it like this one where it's thinned and then gets big. That is a visual excitement. It looks cool. It's a neat little thing. In fact, a lot of West Coasty bows are wide and then they constrict because you can get away with that because there's a lot of leverage in this area, so it's not gonna affect the bending that much. In the last 6 inches of a bow, it's like a lever arm. Give me a long enough lever and I can move the world. That's what I said. They stole that. Yes, I'm that old. But that's about it. The person that I believe just put down a deposit, I just heard that little notification, ting ting, and I look at my Gmail and there's a deposit there. Now I'm going to respect this person's privacy. I don't Facebook, so I can't contact you. But I'm assuming you were talking about this bow. I tried to get a hold of your business, but it kept saying that my email wasn't valid. It is, because PayPal went to it. So I don't know how to get a hold of you. I tried to internet stalk you to find your email or any contact information. I have your address, but you know who I'm talking about. You're as elusive a prey as that in which you seek, if you get my drift. Hint, hint, nod, nod. And so, do email me, John J. Riggs Archery, so we can figure out the deets. But this is going to be one sweet bow. It's coming along nicely. Alrighty tighty, thank you for watching. This is going to be a single take. I'm going to claim that the information I gave you supersedes, I'm running out of words here, the production quality in my jerky linguistics. But yeah, that's it. Imagine that. Now you know how to make bent tabs. Again, if you cut all the way through, if you try this, you're not sunk. You have not destroyed your bow. Just glue the tip back on with hide glue because you're going to be using hide glue over the sinew. But yeah, just be careful using sandpaper instead of trying to do that V-notch, because that's almost impossible to get them even. It's much easier to control with sandpaper. Yep, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. And to you folks in foreign countries, shipping one of my paddle bows, I can't ship it through the U.S. postal system. It would be nice if I could international shipping through the postal system, but 66 inches exceeds the length, so I have to go with FedEx. And FedEx shipping one of my paddle boats to the UK, for example, is over $200. Is over $200. The last time I sold one in the UK, the fellow found a friend who also wanted one, so I was able to double up. And so the shipping was just over $100 a piece. I think 130 or something like that. But it's expensive, it's prohibitive. That's why I generally don't ship to Europe. That's why I made the offer, and I'll get more specific, that I'd be willing to, and I could ship through the U.S. Postal System. It would be a light package. It would be half the length. I could certainly do, you know, the shape of a paddle bow, and maybe a side profile. That'd be kind of tricky, but that would be possible. Then that would be half the length, but it would give you the opportunity to mark one out on a piece of wood and go after it, which, hey, you know, I like selling bows. It gives me extra gas money. I don't sell a lot of them. My greatest pleasure is helping other people to make bows. Now I shall shut up and go back to work. Have a good one. Thank you for watching, and I hope that little bit on the tip details will help you.